So I'm here, the review locker. Just gonna talk about some stuff. I'm here with my buddies. Flavio.
How you doing, Austin?
He's got a beard. That was Flavio. I'm here with my other friends. Sean.
You almost forgot my name.
No, I didn't.
No,
I was just going with a B.
Using
Now Steven, he's sitting on my bed.
I don't think I didn't know that.
Ha! Because you think you're above us, literally.
Well, literally I am, though.
You're literally above us.
And I'm also here with Zach Morrissey. And then my name is Austin. This is the review locker. Let's do this.
This is sounding more like a mantra.
I feel like that was like the end of a...
like a mantra.
What's a mantra?
Oh, God.
Explain, Sean.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like it's a religious, kind of like, it can be considered under multiple religions, Catholicism, mostly with Buddhism, because they have, like, more than 500 mantras.
But this was positive. I felt like this was a...
Yeah, no,
Positive?
Austin, your narration kind of reminded me of just, I don't know, like some kind of 6 or 17 or 7-year-olds, TV show at the beach. Everyone's just happy in the sun,
I
thought it was very
When I was
spiritual
7, I
experience,
wasn't
honestly.
watching Baywatch.
I did see a sun in there, and I did. But
Alright, well,
I
let's
mostly
get-
saw, like, a kind of a Christian church.
So what did everyone feel during this?
I felt spiritual. I really felt
Spiritual?
the connection with
That's
our
good,
host,
good.
Austin McCampbell.
That's great.
Mitchell.
That's great.
I felt the bed because I'm putting my foot
Was that
upon it.
like a sexual thing?
I did feel a lot of sexual tension in the air. I don't know if that's just me, but it's not weird if we act on it.
Thanks for your confession,
I heard it over Skype, so I mean that was real sexual tension.
It's just it's
Could
it's
you
not
see
weird
the,
if
could
we
you
all
see
feel
the
it.
Zach? Could you hear the beard? Flavia's beard.
Can you hear this?
Can't hear it,
But I can feel it.
but I can feel it. I definitely can feel it.
There you go. That's what matters.
That's all that matters, Zach.
Well, anyway, I saw Fast and
Go
Furious
Team
6.
What was that, Zach?
I saw Fast and Furious 6.
Oh, yeah, Fast and Furious 6. I didn't see it, but I was at a drive-in one time, and I saw the ending of it without any sound.
Well, that's just the way you got to watch Fast and Furious 6, obviously. So
That's how you should watch every movie, actually. Really get the full effect.
I mean, you really want to be a hipster, let's stop pretending here. You got to watch everything muted.
I want to be honest. I watch just like the movies with the sound off, and then I just listen to the sound, and then I analyze the movie.
That's,
That sounds very.
I actually wear an eye patch and just cover one eye.
True.
It's a sensory overload on the right eye. If you cover one,
Yeah.
so you get more of the film.
Different hemispheres of my brain are working.
Exactly.
For each viewing. So that's how it works.
Sensory deprivation really helps.
Yeah,
So
see,
I
I've
think
noticed
what
what really works for me is when I go blind. So then when I unbind blind, then everything's just more intense. It's like a high without any drugs.
So, what was Fast and Furious 6 about then, Zach?
Speaking,
I like how the Rock has metamorphosized from The Rock to Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and now it's just Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
When he was The Rock, again, he was...
Well, he's The Rock as that's his wrestling name. It's not his real name.
Yeah, but he's talking about, like his stage name for, movies as an actor, and right now it just says Dwayne Johnson.
Honestly,
you guys remember he did like that Tooth Fairy movie or something like that?
Yes,
that movie was... I saw that movie.
Yeah, that's when he was Dwayne Johnson.
And now he's doing The Rock Johnson?
I don't know.
He was
Johnson
Dwayne
now.
The Rock.
Oh, okay.
He was Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I have preferred doing The Rock.
Well, I mean, at least he didn't do like the whole Snow Lion thing, like Snoop Dogg or Snoop Lion.
Oh, Snow Lion?
Did you say
Yeah.
Snow Lion?
I said Snow Lion. That's
Yes, I actually like that.
Yeah, did you hear about Jay-Z? He removed the hyphen from his name.
Oh,
Really?
damn.
It's high controversy.
Space Z.
No.
But I thought
I bet the world went into a huge craze and utter turmoil when Panic at the Disco took out the exclamation point after Panic. Woo.
I feel like
All those
that's when
middle
you've made it
schoolers,
big, when you can make ball busting changes like that, and people lose their shit over it.
Or P. Diddy to Puff Daddy.
Yeah,
That was like...
that was a culture shock.
Oh, yeah, Prince did that one, too.
Really?
Formerly known as Prince.
Yeah, except
yeah,
he's fucking Prince, though.
Didn't he change his name to like Vagina or something?
Oh, I was
for a
thinking.
short
I
amount of
thought
time?
it was going to ascend to king, but
No, did you guys hear about that?
That'd be really good. That'd be very
so
clever.
good.
You could get some more ticket sales out of that if you go from Prince to King.
Exactly.
To king.
Anyways, about Fast
Emperor.
and
Yeah,
How
Fast-
fast in the
Furious.
about the slow and the curious.
The Fast and the McFlurious.
You know what, Zach? I've never really cared for this series.
Me neither.
So why should I watch it now? Tell me.
It's just great, man. Just, it has everything of just a good action movie, self-aware one-liners, very impressive explosions, attractive females, just random car races just for fuck. That's why.
Yeah.
The franchise, it's just crazy how this franchise has just kind of changed from, we're all about cars, to just kind of like, nah, we're kind of about espionage and being like a bank robbery, and then all the fucking special agents come in. Oh fuck, we're joining the special agents to. Oh yeah, here's a car scene. Remember, back to our roots. We're all about cars, and it's just great.
It's really funny to watch. I mean, yeah, I watched most of Fast Five, and I mean, the only other ones I've seen, I did see Too Fast, Too Furious.
I saw that movie too. One of the worst movies I've ever seen.
I did see Fast and Furious, and I
Worst
saw
movie.
Tokyo Drift. Tokyo Drift was better than both of those other two. Fast and Furious was crap.
I like
Too Fast, Too Furious
Tokyo Drift
was...
is one of my favorites.
Too Fast, Too Furious, though, was
I never saw
complete
that.
crap.
I
I
started
saw
before.
that was
and
bad.
Did you
That
guys
Asian
know
guy
that-
from Tokyo Drift was just great.
Did you guys know that the order of the movies is not the order that they were made?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really confusing,
Yeah,
man.
well,
Actually,
it's
I
not
remember
confusing.
this
Come
was back in the Blockbuster days, and I asked for what is it? There's like Fast and the Furious, and then there's the Fast and the Furious.
Yeah,
No. It goes
four.
Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast and Furious. Well, wait, chronological order or what?
I don't know. I
Or
don't
they
know.
just- get the
Because
release.
chronological order, Tokyo Drift comes after all of them.
Tokyo Drift's the last one.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways.
Well, actually, the new one, the seventh one, is going to be actually take place after.
Except, I don't know, like with Tokyo Drift, like they keep sending the Asian guy out on every one of the movies, and then it's like, wait, no, we didn't do Tokyo Drift yet. Didn't
Han's
happen.
like the best
When does
character-
Han come in? Because
Han-
he was obviously there for Tokyo Drift. Then at the end of Fast 5, he was there.
Yeah, he was in there Fast 5 and Fast 6.
And
He was
Fast
at
6.
Fast Five.
And then the
He
next-
Was
was
it
in there
Fast
for
6?
4.
Yeah, he was.
That's what we just saw.
That's what the one he saw,
Oh.
Flavio.
Yeah, it was really funny because in Fast 6, like, he was in Japan, and he's like, nah, I'm going back. I tricked you. Nope, not yet.
I'm not in this movie, loser.
Well, Han, I feel, is the best character, even though...
Which
I
was
don't
is
think
Han the Japanese guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
he's played by a Korean man.
No, it's the
Oh,
woman.
jeez.
I don't like Vin Diesel though.
What?
I don't like him.
What?
All
He
of them.
annoys
I don't
me.
like. I don't like Vin Diesel.
I'm not a fan
What?
of him at all.
Yeah, I'm not.
Guys.
No, but I mean, I think he's okay. It's Paul Walker who I hate. I hate Paul Walker.
Oh, is he the white guy?
Oh,
like-
he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's the white guy, right?
He's
Yeah.
hilarious
Nobody
on it.
remembers that movie.
I find him really funny unintentionally, and
Yeah.
that's enjoyable.
No, see, I think it's intentional.
I think he's just a terrible actor. That's why I laughed.
And he embraces it, though, Everything he, I love, there's just a scene, I want to be the one who has to do this, because I gotta put it on myself.
I feel like Paul Walker would have made a good Jesse on Breaking Bad.
Hell no. I think
Nah.
Jesse would have made a good Jesse on Breaking
No.
Bad.
Paul
It's
Walker.
awful.
Yeah, I
Paul
don't know.
Walker. He's just.
That's a good TV show.
He's just
Yeah.
a terrible
It's a
actor.
great TV show.
Yeah.
It
But
is
no,
the
dude,
TV show.
hold
But
up,
Fast
though.
and Furious. I mean, it sounds like a group watch. It's kind of like how Steven was describing, Pacific Rim. Just like I feel like Fast 5. It sounds like it's just really owning its ludicrousness. Ludicrous is in the movie, but still,
Luda.
like it's kind of just like
embarrassing.
capitalizing on how ridiculous and big it is. And
Dude,
I mean, it sounds more enjoyable now than it would have been for me like before Fast
Vin
5.
Diesel, he's great.
I
He's
don't
the
like
only-
him.
the only
What is so
comments-
great about him?
The only comments I have about the movies are there needs to be no talking. Just cars. No talking at all.
Well, I mean, it's
That would,
Because the
that would
acting-
ruin.
the acting is terrible.
Just
No,
watch
it's
the-
great.
But then the lines just have to be extra dumb, and then
They are already extra dumb.
which can be really funny.
It's hilarious. I watched this with Roxanne, and I couldn't stop laughing.
That sounds like a good way to watch it.
But no, Vin Diesel. For my defense, Vin Diesel's great. Like, the way that he delivers everything, everyone's like a total badass in this film, and this guy is the only one that's able to like say stuff and just really go like, oh shit, I'm afraid of this guy, because he just has a super gravelly voice and he says things that are just like these one-liners, and you're just like, fuck Vin Diesel. Why did you just go there?
Yeah, he is the pacifier. I agree,
No,
Sean.
no, that movie doesn't exist. It was never made.
Pacifier wasn't that bad.
Pacifier was.
I think the Tooth Fairy was worse than the pacifier.
Yeah, the Tooth Fairy.
But the thing is, I prefer The Rock, so I think I'd rather watch the Tooth Fairy just because I like The Rock.
The Rock and him fight.
Just because I know if I watch that movie, it's like I'm supporting Rocky.
In Fast Five, they do like when they fight. That was pretty.
Dude, that was like the manliest fight scene in 5. It was just Dwayne Johnson and Vin Diesel fighting. That was the most testosterone-filled man thing.
Did he rock bottom him?
No, Vin Diesel won.
He did.
What? That is stupid.
No,
Vin Diesel should have gotten his ass whooped.
I don't know. I think Vin Diesel.
Where is this coming from, Flav? Why don't you like Vin Diesel?
Kidding me?
I don't like him.
Maybe.
I don't know. I just feel like the way he acts
don't like
is very
him.
boring.
I don't like.
I got a bad feeling about him. I got a bad feeling.
You know what? Here's a redeeming quality. He was the voice of the Iron Giant.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good movie.
That was a great movie.
Everyone says that's his best role.
Well, I mean, I did like him in Saving Private Ryan when he got shot by that sniper.
Dude, Fast 5 was just the pinnacle of the Fast and Furious franchise, and I think he was great in that.
Yeah, but that's not saying much.
Oh, I mean, it's kind of interesting to see that, because like they had 4 other movies before that, and 5 is like when they get it right. It's that's kind of.
But they did it. They did it. It's great family fun.
Shit, Austin. They did it.
A franchise.
They finally won. You can't get over it.
I do. I find it funny when I watch it, because like, especially how you said that's like a heist film, and what they do, go back and do what they do best, which is race. I never.
They always they mix in like these really random car chases. Like, oh wait, we got to do a car chase because cars.
Yeah. And then whenever they challenge somebody to a race, it's just a big parking lot. Like, this is a whole community that they're a part of. It's a whole parking lot. There's like some pimp-looking guy, a girl, and everybody. Cars surrounded everywhere. It's like a tailgate party, but without any food.
It's a different culture,
and
Austin.
they're all nice cars.
Something ignorant.
Who's a different generation?
It's just
You're just ignorant.
It's just ludicrous.
You ever been part of a street race
Like
team?
the
I think
actor
so.
that's in the movie.
I do have to say, ludicrous is so freaking annoying.
Fast Furious.
Okay,
Luda.
I would prefer
I like him. He's
him.
charming.
I would prefer him than Lil Bow Wow in
A charming young man.
frickin'
I think he
Tokyo
is.
Drift.
Yeah. Lobo.
I don't know. I've always been neutral towards Luda.
Luda.
Yeah, he serves his role. He's funny. It's kind of funny that he's like a computer genius, and he's like a professional hacker, and
What
he's
if
like,
in real
"Hey,
life-
Dom, I got it."
What if in real life we're just misinterpreting him? He wanted to be a rapper, but really, he's just a computer hacker.
He wanted to major in computer science, and his rap career took off.
Okay, well, Zach,
It's like,
biggest
shit, I'd be a
threat.
fool to pass up on this.
Crap, I'm stuck in the rap career. I can't switch to computer science
Can't be a
now.
computer scientist now. I don't
okay.
street cred.
The dream is dead.
So Zach, though, with
They
the
try to
Fast and Furious movies, though, like, how would you rate them?
Yeah, easy. Fast 5 was just the greatest one in the series, easy. Everything just kind of cultivated into like this dumb mess, like actual plot happening, good little drama. There wasn't anything missing. Like, all the puzzle pieces were in play. Fast and Furious 6 kind of felt like a sequel to Fast 5. Like, it was like the story felt kind of done, but then they just kind of brought it back to make an extra, $100 million or whatever they made. So Fast and Furious 6 wasn't as good as Fast 5. There wasn't as much driving the plot forward, driving the jokes,
Driving.
So I would go. Fast 5 would be my top. Tokyo Drift would be second. Fast 6 would be my third, and then
Tokyo Drift is better than Fast 6?
I think Tokyo Drift was just
Tokyo Drift was awesome.
great. That was
I didn't think it
such a
was
good
that
movie.
great.
Han just really made it for me. Fuck yeah. And
The
you know,
coolest character.
the Tokyo Drift, just an entirely different movie from the new Fast 5 and Fast 6 kind of movies. It's mostly about cars, and just it does it really well out of all the most car-focused Fast and Furious movies. And then the two Fast and Furious and the Fast and Furious are the same. Just whatever.
Yeah, Too Fast, Too Furious was just so boring. Like
Fast,
Fast and
Furious
Furious
didn't
at
have
least
Dom.
had a little bit more going on. The Too Fast, Too Furious, I don't know. It just had just Paul Walker and then Tyrese Gibson and Eva Mendes, who none of them can act.
Yeah.
Oh, Eva Mendes, I don't like her at all.
I'm not a fan of her.
She's so annoying.
Anyway, Steven, I heard you saw a movie that came out recently.
Nope.
That was a lie.
Man!
You look foolish.
I feel like this is a game of liar's dice, but instead of dice, they were people. And one dice,
Okay,
one
not,
die
not
lied
everybody has played Red Dead
one die
Redemption.
lied to another
One
die.
die, one lie.
And this room is the cup that you shake the
Also,
dice
a lot
in.
of people wouldn't know what
I said liar's
Liar's
dice.
Dice.
You're the one who brought up Red Dead Redemption.
I've played Red
I
Dead
didn't-
Redemption. I don't remember Liar's Dice, though. I remember the cards.
You didn't play liar's dice?
I don't know.
It was
I don't know. Liars.
had a movie to recommend.
So anyway, we're not talking about Red Dead Redemption. I hear it's a good game, though.
It's a good game.
I'm gonna
It
pick
was
it
a
up.
good game.
Yeah, it was fun.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, I saw the Wolverine.
Dum, ba, dum, dum, bum, bum.
That's my Wolverine sound effect. Ah!
So basically,
Sounds like a puppy.
Shut up.
it's another Wolverine movie. I don't know what number it is. I think it's like the fourth or the fifth, maybe.
No, it's the.
I thought it was a
Okay,
second.
you know what?
Oh,
No,
are you talking
no.
about with
It's
Hugh
not
Jackman
even-
in it?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
with Hugh
yeah,
Jackman
it's
playing.
the-
It's
the-
kind of a
It's the fifth, I
standalone.
think.
It's the no.
It's the
it's,
second standalone.
it's the sixth.
Well, I mean, but the Wolverine's still kind of connected. Like, this one is meant to be a bit more of a standalone, even though it had, like, references to other movies.
It
it was
Austin,
mainly a
no.
standalone.
Austin, no,
I
you
think
don't
Steven was
understand.
talking about how many movies Hugh Jackman has played as the
What
Wolverine.
about
Oh!
X-Men
It's-
Origins Wolverine?
There was like 3 X-Men movies. He was Wolverine.
He's
Yeah.
X-Men, then you count the first
3,
Wolverine,
and then
then
First Class, and then X-Men Origins, and then now X-Men Days of Future Past, which hasn't happened yet.
So
That would
I
be
thought
the
X-Men Origins Wolverine was like the spin-off.
It's not a spin-off. It's just...
I
It's not a
really
TV
like that
show.
movie.
It's just an origin movie.
I thought that was a good movie.
Origins...
Do you think it was better than the first Wolverine movie?
It's been a while since I've seen the first one. I can't make a clear
The
judgment.
first
on
Oh, I
Wolverine
really-
movie was not very good.
We were
The
not
second
talking
one
about the
was
first-
great.
We're not talking about the first
that.
Wolverine.
Can I talk
movie.
about the movie, guys?
X2.
Jesus Christ!
Tell us about the Wolverine.
Christ!
Tell us about
I'm
it.
flustered, hot and bothered.
Well, we'll
You're
take
not
the clothes
good.
off then, you know.
Anyway, so yeah, I saw the Wolverine. Basically, the basic premise is that Wolverine has to protect a guy's a guy. He saved a guy in World War II, and he has to protect his granddaughter. He doesn't have to, but he feels he needs to. But he has lost his regenerative ability, which,
Oh no!
as you would imagine, would make getting shot in the chest a lot harder
And painful.
and painful.
Oh, he still feels the pain. It's just... Go on.
He just heals quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really liked it. It was a real fun ride. I saw it with a couple friends that aren't you, and because you know how popular I am.
You're seeing too many
And,
movies with friends that aren't us.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, what?
We're gonna have a Steven's Not Here party one day.
good.
Hey, don't worry, Steven. Soon you'll be up here, and we can live together.
Even though I'm kind of across the bridge from you, but you know.
Yeah,
okay.
I got a car.
So,
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, we'll hang out all the time.
Yeah.
friendship.
Anyway, yeah, so it was really fun. I really enjoyed it, and the story was actually pretty good because it was based off a pretty famous series of Wolverine comic books. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
there was a little change in one of the characters that I'm not going to spoil for anybody that's in the movie because it's kind of cool to see him revealed in the movie.
Okay.
But
Also, to him.
there's a
Spoiler.
I know who it is now.
There's a little discrepancy in his character, but it was for the purpose of moving along the movie, so it's forgivable.
I can respect that.
Yeah, and it was a
Unless
great.
it's Deadpool, what they did Deadpool and Wolverine. That was
Please
No.
don't talk about that. It's a
that
terrible
was
thing.
too tragic. Go on.
It's terrible.
But yeah, I really had fun. It was a great action movie. It's one of those comic book movies that knows that it's a comic book movie. It tries to capture that style. You know, the big complex fight scenes. You know, like they had I think 4 or 5 scenes where it's over and you're like, oh hell yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
So it's just it knew what it was. It knew it was a comic book movie, and it did it very well. It was very cartoony, very actiony. It was interesting to see. There's a bit of an internal struggle with what happened in the first Wolverine that he's going throughout the entire movie.
Well,
So-
I thought it was mostly about the events after the third X-Men movie with Jean.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's not the first Wolverine movie. That's X-Men 3.
I hate you, Austin. Anyway, so
I'm trying to get some clarity here.
I hate Austin. I literally hate him. But anyway,
I happen to be really into the guy.
Oh.
It's okay from time to time.
differing opinions. It's a review Austin, guys. No.
I'll give us 3.5.
Oh, it's out of 0 stars. I mean, it's at a half star. So, never mind. Go ahead.
But yeah, it was very aware. It didn't. There was a lot of potential for it to be like annoying or try to be quote unquote daring, but just bad. But it didn't do that. It did. It stuck to basically Marvel stuck to what they're good at, and that was. It was a fun experience. I really liked it. I was really cool. You see Hugh Jackman flexing, and you're like, wow, he's looking good.
He's an attractive male.
He's looking pretty buff. He always wears jeans, though, so I don't know if he's doing his squats, so I can't confirm whether or not he's a hunk.
Let us know when you do know.
Yeah, motivated me to see this movie.
If I see his legs, then I can confirm or deny whether or not he's a hunk, because you got to have a full package to be a hunk. But anyway.
Because I heard this
All
movie.
right, I just typed in Hugh Jackman thighs on Google Images. I can confirm he is not a hunk.
Shut
upsetting.
up. You and your
That's
fitness
upsetting.
standards. He's better looking than you two combined.
That's upsetting.
I don't know, Steven. Yeah,
Hugh Jackman,
Oh,
and
you
he
TBA.
said he has to train hard for the rules of Wolverine. He has to lift only. He
No,
only does,
his upper body looked great, but he's wearing those jeans.
well, no,
all the
he's
time.
only told to do that. He's only supposed to because he's given only such short time to train.
Yeah.
And he only has enough time to train the upper half, and so he goes through grueling efforts to get the upper body half, and then after that he could just.
Crazy. Did you hear what Christian Bale went through after going from The Machinist to Batman Begins?
That was one of the craziest things ever, man.
Machinist, he lost so much darn weight, and then he's like, "Oh, Batman Begins is next." Gains like how many pounds of muscle?
60.
Yeah, crazy. Anyway, but I heard the Wolverine is supposed to be like trying to be a bit more character oriented and like a bit more serious, because like, it's by the same guy who returned to Yuma and Walk the Line. So I'm kind of curious.
There's a darker tone, but I wouldn't say it was more of a character development. Like
Oh.
there was development, but I wouldn't say that was the main focus. That wasn't exactly what you were paying attention to. But yeah, it was definitely a darker tone, especially with Wolverine's regenerative abilities gone. You know, he's still getting shot. He's doing the things that he can do as Wolverine, but he's not exactly Wolverine anymore, and he is getting kind of destroyed. But he doesn't realize that. But he has such tenacity that he keeps going on.
So what'd you rate it?
I'll give it a 4.
4.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was a really good
so one of
movie.
those really good comic book movies.
better than Pacific Rim? Question mark.
Yeah, better than it's definitely better.
Oh,
Definitely better.
that's
And
He
the
didn't
teaser
think about it.
trailer at the end of the credits is gonna blow your mind, everybody.
Yeah, that's
Gonna
what Alex,
blow your mind.
wow, really?
Gonna blow your mind.
Is it?
Yeah, I heard
Don't-
something about it, but I'm not gonna say anything about it.
Spoil it, guys.
I know everything about it, even though I don't know anything.
Yeah,
about
that sounds really interesting. I'm especially excited for the next X-Men movie, though. Days of Future Past. Man, this sounds so great. Yeah.
So yeah, that's
That's your
the Wolverine.
the Wolverine. Hey, Flavio, didn't you say you were telling me about this documentary the other day?
it. I do. Recommendation. To speak of indubiously so.
Okay.
It's actually, this documentary is actually
Suspense.
where one band got its name from. And this documentary is about a Japanese motorcycle gang, I think it was in the 70s, called the Black Emperors. And the documentary name is called Godspeed You, Black Emperor. Dun dun! Yeah.
That was great.
So this documentary, it's really interesting, you know. The quality of the documentary is really grainy. You could actually watch it all for free on YouTube, which is where I saw it.
Probably why the quality was so terrible.
Yeah, the quality was really bad. So anyway. So one thing that was really interesting about this documentary is that it reminded me a lot of Akira. Like, just the beginning part, you know how, like, it kind of shows, that Neo-Tokyo motorcycle gang from the future.
Steampunk.
It's kind of like that, but, actually from the 70s. And what was really interesting is the Black Emperors, their logo was a swastika. So I don't know if they knew the...
Well, you know,
it's Chinese for peace.
Yeah, it's also Indian for peace.
Oh, really?
So it's not. It's Hitler just ruined it.
Yeah, so...
he, peed on it. and the smell just never got out, no matter how many times you put it through the washing machine.
Anyway, but yeah, this is a really interesting documentary. It definitely it's really interesting when I saw it because it was such like an alien world. Like it was the 70s and it was in Japan and it focused on this one area and it was so unrelatable. Just everything about this film was unrelatable. But that's what makes it interesting, Like it kind of opens up into this whole new world.
Whole new world.
God damn, I hate all of you. No, I don't.
Do you hate Aladdin?
Yeah, no. I don't. I haven't seen it.
Oh, those from Pokemon.
Okay.
Just everyone sings
Moving
that all
on.
the time, and it annoys me.
Oh shit, Steven, we sang it in choir, and how many times we had to sing that? It's just embedded in our brains. We're like secret agent spies. That the code word is a whole new world.
I suffer the consequences. I wasn't even in the good choir, and I had to hear that.
Zach, I really like that you call us super agent spies. I feel good about myself.
There are a couple code words that if you say, we will burst into song and dance.
Don't do it, Steven. Don't do it.
I want you to do it.
Are we moving on?
But moving on. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Really?
I recommend it. Check it out.
So Godspeed You Black Emperor is a documentary, and it's on
also
YouTube.
a band. I recommend both.
So what would you rate the documentary, Flavio?
Well, the quality was really bad, and I actually had to stop watching it because, the guy would talk, and the translation text, the subtitles, would show up 30 seconds before the guy even said anything. So it was
30
really,
seconds is a long time, Flavio.
or let's say 20. So it was
That's
really
still a long time.
Shut up! It was really hard to keep track.
Jesus Christ!
That's
Flavio.
if it's that early.
It was.
That's a major documentary turnoff.
Stop criticizing me.
Hostile.
It was really hard to keep track,
Huh.
So I didn't know who was saying what to who, and it just really put me off.
Interesting.
So try to find a good dubbed. No, not dubbed. A good subtitled.
I like saying dubbed. It's just a fun when it comes off the tongue.
Yep.
Dub,
Yes.
dub.
I really like the new age Japanese dub.
Dubbed.
Dub.
Dubbed.
It is a fun word.
Dubbed.
You guys are adorable. Me and Steven are lost in a boat of our own.
In a boat?
When you say lost,
I'm glad we shared that moment,
On a
Zach.
boat right now.
when you say lost in a boat, when you said lost in a boat, I was thinking because you said dub, and I just thought rub a dub, and I just imagine you guys on the boat.
It's an inspirational word.
ducky.
You hear
Yeah,
dub.
dude, I want to wear the yellow outfit the sailors wear.
So Zach, Zach,
Curious George.
you know how you talked about Madagascar 3 the other day?
Fucking Madagascar 3.
Safari expert.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I gave Madagascar 3 another chance, and I'm so glad I did.
It's great.
Yeah, Madagascar 3 is very entertaining. Like this
Holy
time I saw it
shit.
from the very beginning. It's it's a sequel to the other Madagascar movies,
Yeah,
and
not as
definitely the
good.
best one.
Oh yeah,
Definitely
totally
the best.
different flavor. Madagascar 3 is like making fun of all of the action movie tropes with animals, and it's so fucking ludicrous that it's great. There's this scene where this girl, she sings to bring people back to life.
Yeah.
She sings, and people they heal themselves. Like this girl, she comes out, like a big fire happens, and that cliche thing of her walking through the fire and her red silhouette's just walking forward, and then like she's chasing them down the road and stuff, and then they throw out like all the sticky stuff. So she flips her scooter, she holds it on top, and she skis down through like the waist, and then there's this one scene
She's like riding the moped like a surfboard.
yeah. And then, freaking, they're like, oh, we gotta get away from her. Better use a nuclear reactor. Oh, skip, it's not ready yet. Don't even get me. Okay. And then he just hits the button, and a nuclear reactor.
It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
She runs through a wall.
Like, cause I think, because when I first saw it, like only I missed the first half hour, and so I watched it. It was kind of neat to see, and it was really pretty and all. But
First
when I
half
went
hour's
rewatched, like when I saw it from beginning, that opening chase scene, which is so great, and that really just set it up for the rest of the movie. Like, it wasn't that like everything had to outmatch that. It was just that, well, this is a taste of how crazy this movie's gonna get. I'm just gonna amp it up even more. And they also, like, with all the colors they use in that movie,
Gorgeous.
it seems like they just decided, like, we have all the colors at our disposal. We're just gonna throw them all in there at some point, even changing the whole filter.
It's almost like a stoner flick, because like every single scene, they're like, "How can we make this more crazy?" And they're like, "Okay, how can we make this more weird?" you know what? Let's have a zebra flying. Yeah, and you know what? Let's just make it kind of psychedelic. Let's make him go through the clouds making smiley faces and hearts and then going through some kind of rainbow. Yeah, that's good.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's...
Wait, so is it a lot different from the first two?
Oh yeah, it's nothing like it. It's
Really?
It's so weird how the direction and the pacing, just everything down to even the character arcs are just so different. Everything.
Is it the same people?
Yeah,
Well,
same people, but they're different. Like it almost reminded me of like the Avengers, where there's just so many characters in this mythology now, or in this universe, that they just give a little bit of time to each one. But it's perfect because it's like the best of the best from that character. You don't have to deal with all the shit.
This movie hasn't really. I mean, the movies haven't really grown and gotten more and more characters. Like they still keep the same characters in the first one and just take them to new places.
Yeah.
But the third one, at least, like the new crowd of characters they get dropped with are so much more interesting and more memorable than all the other ones. It's like a circus.
Oh,
they
yeah.
they join the circus, and so there's like there's Bryan Cranston plays the
Bryan Cranston.
the star attraction. He's a former ambitious tiger, Russian tiger, who squeezes through little hoops.
Yeah. So like the whole setup for this guy is he goes through hoops and he does the impossible.
He's a tiger boy.
And what he does is he drowses himself in oil and then he just jumps through these hoops that he shouldn't be able to. And it's
It never actually shows him.
They never show it. Yeah.
It just like goes from his perspective, and then he goes through, and then the next shot is just him already through it.
And then there's
like,
just a little.
He goes through like one the size of a ring.
Yeah, they pull out a ring and everyone is like, ah! And then he does it, and it's like, what?
And then Jessica Chastain does the voice of the Jaguar.
Yeah. I think so.
Just the love interest, and then Martin Short is a sea lion. Yeah, it's.
I just have never seen a movie so ridiculous yet so cohesive at the same time.
I think it was really great too because it had a really, really defined villain who was actually really interesting. Like the first two movies, the first one didn't even have a real villain. The second one had a forgettable one, and then because I don't remember, so it's forgettable. And the third one has Frances McDormand as that lady who's just so ridiculous. Like she ran through walls.
She bursts through a wall. She like jumps off the top of a building with her motorcycle, then jumps off her moped even to get even more of a reach. She does like this samurai scene where they shoot her with like a machine gun banana, and then she Matrix style dodges them and then pulls out like a sword and like
it even changes the camera angle like to go underneath the like where all the banana peels are because it's a banana peel like banana gun. So like instead of like shells, it's just banana peels, and so it makes it really dramatic. Like once you like this first scene, just really like sets it up for the rest of the movie, and it's really enjoyable.
Yeah, the first chase scene is. But what's great is that then you actually get to the circus acts, and that's where like this whole other movie just unlocks itself because there's just gorgeous colors and just this almost like EDM rave style circus, I guess, where there's just colors going everywhere. There's things, explosions and fireworks, a hilarious human monkey playing music, and it's a real delightful film for both adults and kids and stoners.
At first, I would have given it 2.5, but then again, I didn't see the whole movie, so that kind of goes against one of my rules. But now I give it 3.5 stars. It was really delightful.
I totally landed on 3.5. It was really good.
Oh, you landed on it.
Yeah.
What are you playing a board game and your character piece go? Oh, 6.
Austin,
Beep, boop, bop,
Austin,
bop, bop. Oh, I landed on it. I'm gonna buy it
do you-
because this is Monopoly
Do you
now.
fully expect that to go somewhere where people will like it?
Why is it so long is my question.
I have no problem with the length.
What? A winkage.
A wink?
Winkage.
Wink.
Yeah.
Slam.
Oh, and Madagascar 3 holds up as the greatest looking movie to ever be released. So.
On Blu-ray.
There you have it, folks.
According to the
Nerd community.
According to the nerds.
Slam.
ABS
Ah,
Farms.
Slam.
Hey man, it's nice to have a community. Alright? It's nice.
Yeah, it's a really pretty movie.
It's cool.
Now Sean and I both have a joint recommend. Yeah, fist.
Oh,
Yeah.
fist pump of
We bumped fists. Yeah. We have a joint recommendation. We saw a movie called The Sunset Unlimited, and it's it didn't go to theaters.
What's it called? Sunset Unlimited?
No,
The
it's called the Sunrise
No.
Limited.
No, The Sunset Unlimited.
Are you lying right now?
You trying to trick me? Because I don't appreciate it.
Well, it was pretty easy to trick you, though. It was just that.
Oh God.
Oh, crap.
Okay, so
Notes.
Austin and I.
Okay,
watched
Austin and I, we
Austin.
saw a movie
Whoa.
called The Sunset Limited.
It's a movie starring Tommy Lee Jones
And Samuel L.
and
Jackson.
See, Tommy Lee Jones plays a black guy, and Samuel L. Jackson
No.
plays this white guy. Oh God, dang it! I messed
Okay.
up.
Well, first of all, it's Tommy Lee Jones directs it. It's Cormac McCarthy, the guy who wrote the books for No Country for Old Men and The Road and a bunch of other stuff. It's based on a play he wrote, so I expect really great dialogue. The whole movie is just these two characters. Their names are actually black and white, but you don't know that until the credits.
very
Like
end.
they don't have any spoken names.
Which was very creative, actually.
Well, when you know what the movie's about, like the whole movie just takes place in this one room with them just debating about life and philosophy and belief, and it's really fascinating.
It's very fascinating, actually. The whole aspect of it is Tommy Lee Jones is this professor. Well, actually, we don't really.
Well, yeah,
know.
no. They say he's a college professor.
Kind of, yeah, but anyways, so he tries to commit suicide, and what happened on the Sunset?
Well,
Limited,
the Sunset Limited is a train, like a subway train.
Yeah,
so
it's a subway
he
train.
throws himself in front of it, and Samuel L. Jackson's he's a blue collar
working
working man of God. He saves him from the
Yeah, he basically stops Tommy
and
Lee
he
Jones
brings him
from
back to his
killing-
apartment.
and he tries to spark discussion with Tommy Lee
Like
Jones.
all that like action stuff, like with the train, that was all before the movie started. Like the whole entire movie is just all in this one room, like this kitchen in Samuel L. Jackson's character's apartment. And yeah, Tommy Lee Jones's character, he's read very well cultured. He's read a lot of books. He's not a very happy guy.
Yeah, he's actually he actually puts in this kind of stereotypical gets more angry and depressed with the world the more knowledge he knows of it.
Yeah, that's a
very
good way to put it.
anti-philosophical kind of. in
Yeah,
a way.
he's atheist. He's the one who brings the nihilistic point of view. And then Samuel L. Jackson's character,
he's a God-fearing kind of guy. He's trying to invoke religion into the whole argument.
yeah.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of religious themes in this film.
Yeah, very, very
It's
high.
because it's just the whole movie's just a debate. So
Is it more neutral or more creation based?
it's nothing of the sort.
It's neutral. It's a spectator. It just raises the questions, doesn't answer them.
Yeah, like a basic. So basically, the first half of the movie is Samuel L. Jackson questioning Tommy Lee Jones' character. Why would you do such a thing? While on this planet that God has given us, love your brother and whatnot, and starts to try to befriend Tommy Lee Jones.
He also he argues, like they argue a bit, like why is it your job to save me? You don't know me, things like that.
kind of. I was just a bystander, and then Samuel L. Jackson was like, "No, I was supposed to save you."
So this movie's a thinker.
Yeah,
yeah.
it
You definitely got to put your thinking caps on.
definitely sparks thought. It's very thought provoking. And then the other half of the movie is Tommy Lee Jones kind of chastising Samuel L. Jackson.
I wouldn't simplify it like that because I didn't really see it as much as like if there was a definite halfway point in this movie and it's not even. It's hard to say if they're even they're talking if they're like each of them talking is like at equal level. I feel like Samuel L. Jackson's character talked a lot more. He was a lot more like charismatic and and then there is even the time when Tommy Lee Jones's character says like that he's facetious and like none of them really like they don't like hate each other by any means. Like they're opposites, hence their names Black and White. But like neither of them like are really getting angry about things against each other, which is really interesting. Like,
well, no, that's how a proper debate is.
Yeah.
People think debates nowadays is just one side getting heated and then the
Trying
next
to
side
win.
getting and they're trying to best each other. But no, this is actually the true form of the debate. It's a very
it's a nicer one.
yeah. It's a Socratarian. Very, very. It's a Socrates form of debate. I don't know.
God, shit. I know this word, and it's totally slipping me too.
Oh God.
Oh, Jesus.
We'll get to
Kafka.
We'll get to Kafka.
Anyways, it's a very Socratic type of debate. Where
That's not the word. That's totally not the word. But
What?
Socratic?
That's the one we'll use for now, Zach, until Until you think of it.
until you do something. Anyways, so it's just two people listening to each other, and not exactly
They don't
trying
get,
to.
they don't get hostile. Like
Yeah.
Like I mean, even they would like Tommy Lee Jones's character would like say some of his points and say things, and yeah, like they both have like reactions to each other, but they're never like really judgmental. And as Samuel L. Jackson, like you would say something to him, and Samuel L. Jackson's character would say, "Oh no, I have thought of that." It's not just too like.
Is that a very like they're prejudiced against each other or anything like that? It's a very like, oh no, they're pretty much on equal grounds. They just have different shortcomings and how they got.
Well,
to
I mean,
this point
it doesn't
in
even
time.
because I don't think it even portrays it like they have shortcomings. It's just like
No, shortcomings means they came from different aspects of life.
okay. Oh, good one.
Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson is this guy from Louisiana.
Yeah. Well, because it's really interesting how because it's not even just to like these characters are developed. You don't really they don't ever use like their personal lives like like relationships to like a wife or anything. They don't even bring that to the table and get
Well, they
too.
did.
Well,
and they kind of got dismissed.
But they don't talk about like that aspect and use those parts as a argument because then it'll get like more personal and less like farther away.
Related.
Yeah, farther away from objective. Like, it's really interesting to hear like the kind of characters that the backgrounds that they give each of these characters because Tommy Lee Jones is he's I guess he's kind of world weary, but he's like a dissatisfied. He's getting up there in years. He's a professor. He's nihilistic. He just hates people. And Samuel Jackson, his character. I was about to say Samuel L. Jones.
Samuel L. Jones. Samuel Lee Jones.
His character, he's a man of God, and then he talks about how like he was in jail, and he's the charismatic, and he's like about being more optimistic, and he was in jail in prison, and he came close to death a few times, and it's just interesting like how it takes those like little backgrounds, and it kind of makes sense how they would turn to religion or turn to like hating the world.
Well, it's a short little development of character. It's not exactly a character-driven movie. It's more of like, here's a topic of life, pretty much. And, we're going to show you two different forms of viewing it, and those aren't the only two. It may be black and white, but, there are multiple forms of viewing it. Here's just two specific. The God-fearing one, which is like, love your brother, and the nihilistic kind of one, which is like, no, fuck your brother. Not in...
What's the point of having a brother?
Well,
Is there a brother?
It's kind of like that. It's like, why should I care about my brother? Why should I care about my fellow man when we're all going to just die?
Like, there's like they ask some questions like, what is true? Like, I mean, they don't actually ask what is like true, but they throw around the word true a lot, and they kind of gets sparks a lot of thought. But then they actually do ask stuff about like Tommy Lee Jones' character. He talks about life as life is suffering. Life is suffering. That just
there is no happiness.
It all has an end. And then Samuel L. Jackson's character is there is everlasting life because there's God. You live for happiness. It's just like really interesting. I mean, there's all kinds of questions out there. It's just a really interesting movie. It hooked me immediately.
It was pretty good, and like the soundtrack is very good because at certain points, during the more central kind of like, oh, this is what you should be paying attention to the most, the sound kind of just the volume just escalates.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of background noise.
Yeah, they have like the windows open, background noise. Like when something gets heated, there's some thunder. It's really it works really well. And then by the end, after the big oh shit like final words, it's just like. It's a lot. It's kind of a lot to take in. I guess any criticisms. It's just it could be a little hard to keep your attention on it at all times because it is one like scene. One whole movie.
It's literally in a kitchen
the entire
entire movie.
And like I'm sure most audiences would get tired of watching that, but it really is a great experience. It is great ending. Great movie, and I would have to give it 4 stars.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very fascinated at like the different hats that Tommy Lee Jones and Samuel L. Jackson put on as they kind of traverse the kitchen. They kind of put on different forms of, I guess you could say, psychological
Well, they weren't actually, they weren't trying on a sombrero and the cowboy hat.
No, but like theoretically, or
Yeah,
not
yeah.
theoretically, but like
Yeah,
when you're watching the movie, it's like different
Yeah.
types of psychological viewpoints, and it kind of strikes the heart. I give this movie a 4 to a 4.5. It was very, very enjoyable, and I liked the little debate.
That actually sounds really interesting.
We watched
Sounds like
it-
my kind of movie.
we watched
It's a
on
pretty good
HBO
one.
Go.
I highly
Is it on
recommend.
HBO Go?
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
It's. I don't think it even has a percentage of Rotten Tomatoes, but it's really good.
Yeah, if you're into a thinking movie,
I
and
advise you check it out.
yeah, it's a pretty good one. Next topic.
Next topic.
Next.
Well, okay. I guess we'll get into a little movie we watched, called The Crow.
We're not using that.
That was my crow.
We're cutting that out.
It's time to
We're
switch
not
over.
going to cut it out.
See, edit that out.
Oh.
Yeah, it's so The Crow. We're talking about the one with because I guess how many versions are there?
There's like 3 or 4.
There's
right?
three.
There's 3?
Because I remember watching the one we watched today, or that we're reviewing, and then I've seen the other 2 versions, which also have sequels to them.
Wow.
Oh my god, yeah, I heard they were shit though.
Yeah, they were pretty bad, but
Isn't John Cusack in one?
yeah,
Is he? Wow.
I think so.
As the main guy?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Anyways, so
Yeah, that's awkward
this
casting.
current Crow, or not
This is The Crow from 1994 with the late Brandon Lee, who died on set.
yeah, who died-
Yeah, so
They-
sad.
Yeah, he got shot.
Which scene was it? I mean,
You know what?
I don't
couldn't- I
remember.
couldn't tell. Like, I really couldn't tell, and I guess that's kind of. They dealt with it really nicely as far as editing.
They transitioned it very well, not like Fist of Fury, or not Fist of Fury. What's it called with Bruce Lee?
Well, his name is stock
Game of
footage,
Death?
So, like, he never recorded anything for it, did he?
Yeah, no, he did.
Oh, he did?
But like the replacement actor was like, oh, really?
Oh.
Anyways,
Wait, so did they leave that scene on the movie?
No, they just because I never saw a part when like there was a
yeah, that like
gun straight to like his chest or whatever. So,
well,
like,
I
they must-
mean,
I'm sure
in
like,
the whole scene. Okay, well,
they wrapped it somehow. I don't really know, but the movie it's based on a comic book series.
in Dark Horse Comics,
Is it Dark Horse?
I'm pretty certain.
Confirm that in a sec. It's about basically this.
It's a vengeance movie.
It's about revenge. It's a revenge flick. It takes place in this like city that's kind of getting corrupt, like Gotham before
Kinda.
Batman.
No, it's really corrupt.
It's really
It's
corrupt.
already been this corrupt kind of dystopian.
Like, this is not a place you want to live
Like
in.
this, like
I don't know how anybody.
like it
wants
takes
to-
place on a night that's actually called Devil's Night because that's when it's like what the day before Halloween or is it Halloween?
I think it's the day before Halloween.
Yeah.
Where all the criminals just go and burn shit and steal shit and kill shit, and it's
Are people shit off?
yeah, it's really chaotic. Anyway, so on
That's
this,
a line from the movie.
so on the Devil's Night, there's this guy named Eric Draven and his wife, or no, yeah, they got married. They got
were
married.
engaged and
Engaged.
We're about to get married.
They're about to get married, and these goons walked into their apartment, killed them. They threw him out of a window after stabbing him. They raped
Yeah.
her. They raped her and beat her, and she died at the hospital. And it was all very sad.
Yeah, this is Dark Horse, just to confirm.
It is
I mean,
Dark Horse. He confirmed it.
Yeah, so basically she gets raped and pillaged and whatever.
And then yeah,
Her body got physically pillaged.
okay.
And then,
1 year later,
they started, well, Drake dies in the event because they, like, stab him.
Eric
and,
Draven.
I'm gonna just call him Draven.
well, a year later, he comes back from the grave.
oh
You
shit.
see this crow. You saw a crow like
Well,
after he died.
there's this narrative about like this how there is this in passing in death, you know, the crow takes you over to the other side, but sometimes there are those who are very lucky and they get to live once more to, you know, make things right of justice.
And his idea of making things right is setting out to
Killing everybody.
all
yeah,
the
it's
motherfuckers
pretty,
that
it's pretty
went and
much
killed
just
him.
entire vengeance.
Starring
And
Brandon
Kind of
Lee.
like the Punisher.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's all
exactly
like-
like
it's
the Punisher. I like
just like the Punisher. Except the Punisher, that's just even that was more sad though. The Punisher.
Yeah, we should watch
Wow,
the
that
Punisher,
was
guys.
yeah.
Oh yeah, guys.
I remember I saw the
Where's
movie. That
Waldo,
one was
isn't
dark,
it?
but I
I thought-
enjoyed it.
That was gory, dude.
Anyways,
Wait, what was that?
a
What was
dark-ass
that?
movie.
What was that, Zach?
Yeah, I looked it up. He basically the days of shooting that he missed were the flashback scene is when he actually was killed, and I guess they ended up destroying the footage, and they stopped it immediately after he got shot. So it was during the flashback scene.
Fragmented.
So during the flashback scene, you have the stunt devil is actually playing him, and then the other scene is when the stunt devil's putting on the makeup. That's a stunt devil. It's not actually Brandon Lee putting on makeup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically Brandon Lee just looks the same. He comes out of the grave, starts realizing what all that's happened, realizes
He's invulnerable.
realizes that he's dead, but he is invulnerable. But so after all that, he puts on some fancy white makeup, looks like a jester,
Sad clown makeup.
sad clown, jester, whatever you want to call it, and starts going on a
A
killing
jester
rampage.
makes a king laugh. This guy wasn't going to make a king laugh. He was going to kill the king. Anyway.
What?
Kill the cookie.
Anyways,
Kill.
basically his whole vengeance starts out. Do we want to go into
Well,
spoilers or whatever?
he goes and starts killing some of the goons. And anyway, so I found this movie really goofy. I as soon as it started, I just immediately thought the movie Spawn, which apparently this director also did, which figures. It felt a lot like Spawn.
Figures.
Spawn was terrible.
I remember I saw it when I was younger, and I thought it was terrible.
Yeah, it was really
I
bad.
thought it was okay.
I liked it when I was younger.
I like
then
the character.
The character's great.
the character,
Spawn,
yeah. I
awesome.
just the movie is just.
So yeah, I mean, it's honestly, we do we want to get into review and whatnot?
But,
Well, I
just
mean,
go-
talking about what you just said, Austin, like, I remember Roxanne and I were watching it, and we both came to a consensus that we kind of like 90s movies because they have somewhat the picture quality of, modern-ish movies, yet they still have the cheesy effects and cheesy kind of camera work of the 60s to the 80s that just kind of make it feel weird. It's like,
I wouldn't say it had the camera work of 60s and the 80s. I mean, look at
80s. It felt very 80s, kind of cheese, with the music.
Like it was just, it was definitely
It was. I felt like this movie was very, very 90s. Like
very 90s.
Like I think it was like the whole movie was like the epitome of like the whole grunge scene.
Grunge, yeah, that was the
It
other
was
thing.
the whole movie. Like if you could describe it in one word, it was grungy.
Well, it's
Yeah.
got like music from Stone Temple Pilots, Nine Inch Nails, and all those
Yeah.
fancy bands. But yeah, this movie can pretty much be summed up into goth, emo, grunge,
I mean, not too
dark,
gothic, though.
angsty.
I mean, the whole city
Definitely
was so
angsty.
It's a
grungy.
very angsty.
Let's just throw out some more adjectives. I love this.
It's very melancholic too.
Let's go on. Let's go on. Let's
No,
go on.
I'm serious.
Come
No,
on,
this-
we're workshopping this. Let's go.
This movie is very melancholic because it's just like the scene transitions go from we're laughing about something and then murder and it's just like what?
Well, yeah.
And then murder.
And then
I couldn't.
we were having a laugh and then murder.
Like, I couldn't really.
oh, that guy's dead.
My disbelief wasn't suspended until as it got towards the climax, because it was just a lot of cheesy stuff, and I was kind of just laughing about it.
And then you heard the cheesy one-liners, right?
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't
was
going
fun?
crazy.
Oh,
Oh, well, there's one. This wasn't a cheesy one-liner, but it was a really weird expression of "oh shit!" Like this guy just yelled out "shit on me."
Yeah, he was
Shit
like,
on me.
instead of like fuck me, he was like shit on me.
Which makes me think that's probably what was the normal thing back then, to say it was shit on me. So now I wonder what people are going to think in the future when they hear that. We would sometimes say, "Oh, fuck me,"
It was
Oh,
a different
shit
generation.
on
Different.
me.
It was a different generation.
The gaps, man. The
Different
generation
culture.
jumps. Anyways,
Zach, what did you think about the colors, though? At least the look.
what colors?
Yeah, there's
There's
just
lots of colors.
there weren't. I felt it was just a red and black film. That
That's-
was.
It had some really nice blues, though, that were thrown in there.
I don't know. It was. It wasn't a very graphical movie in my opinion. I thought it was more of just kind of like the style, the grungy. I think I would have loved this movie a lot if I was like 13.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
it's
It,
feel
it does
this
have
is
a cult following.
This is a very adolescent film.
yeah, it's like fucking get
Yeah.
back at the bad guys. It was very like
Fuck
I
the
thought
bad guys.
it was kind of like almost a video game where it's like, oh, there's 4 main bad guys. We're gonna go after them. All right, killed the first boss, the second boss. All right, now we're going for the
It's a
big
video
boss.
game.
Woo!
Yeah, this movie, all in all, is kind of. Well, when I looked online just to get another opinion, Rotten Tomatoes gives this movie 82%.
Kind of high.
Roger Ebert.
Roger Ebert gives it 3.5 out of 4. And then
Jesus.
I'm looking at this movie and I'm trying to figure out what are they viewing this from?
Victims, aren't we all?
That's what he says. He says that line in the movie.
They're all dead. They
It's
just
great
don't know
when-
it yet.
It doesn't always rain.
It doesn't always rain. So classic. But I'm just trying. I'm like, am I watching the same movie as these people?
I think,
I enjoyed
like,
it.
I mean, I didn't. What was that, Fabio?
Said I enjoyed it.
Give us your take.
Well, I actually didn't rewatch it, and I saw it when I was a lot younger.
So
You should watch it
what,
now.
What,
You
what,
should-
what was that like for you then?
It was beautiful. No, I really like the whole style. Like, I really like the darkness of it all. But I can see how it kind of comes off as edgy.
Well, I think Angsty's. I think
the crickets.
I think yeah, there's crickets out there. I mean, I think Angsty's like I don't know.
Yeah,
That sounds like a better word than
the
edgy.
perfect word for this movie is angsty.
Or
One
Brit-
of the reviewers said it was an experimentation film,
that
I'm
doesn't seem very experimental.
which I didn't feel very
I don't know.
experimental.
I mean, it depends on the time because in the '90s they did make use of those. So maybe it was one of the first ones that really made use of that kind of style. But I
Maybe.
hated the style. That director, like, I feel like if this movie had a director of like nowadays, it probably would have been better and better
mean,
casted and better acted.
maybe like just
Or
the
else-
lack of a
opposite.
superhero presence in the
Yeah.
'90s kind of made this superhero movie made this interesting.
Hmm.
Maybe
And
it was the
that's-
first of its kind that did a style like this.
Yeah, it's very original, but I feel like originality only goes so far. This has a very specific following. Like
Yeah.
this is a fandom. This movie is a
like
fandom.
Tim Burton, the very very specific following of Tim Burton.
But
I like the Batman Tim Burton. That was a great film.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
I-
Goofy as fuck.
It was
Tim Burton
great.
Batman.
It was
What?
stupid.
Talking
With the Joker.
the
He did
Joker
a great job.
and the Penguin.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I didn't. I got
It
nightmares.
was one of the
from
first
it.
Batman movies to make it like dark. In
That was the
film
first
format.
Batman movie that was dark.
That was the film.
It wasn't what made Batman dark, but
yeah,
it's
you know what? This is pretty much like a Tim Burton kind of movie because
It's
it's
just-
very
Well, I mean,
There's a
It's
lot of
weird.
spirals.
no. There's a lot of dark and death, which
But
is about the same.
Tim Burton doesn't do death though.
It's just
Jack Skellington. It's
Yeah.
a skeleton.
Yeah, but they don't point out the
But it-
significance of him being
Yeah,
dead.
but like
There's a zombie.
his bride doesn't get raped and then murdered.
Okay, this
That's
isn't
true.
a kids movie.
Well,
there are tits-
Exactly. So
Which
it's
is-
not a
which
Tim
is-
Burton film.
A woman's eye gets pulled out.
Huh?
yeah, that was pretty graphic. Then there's incest too.
Well, it's not
Wait.
really incest.
Oh yeah,
because
that Asian girl.
But-
Yeah,
Dude,
that's
that guy
a
was
stepsister.
creepy.
That you know what? Actually, I recognize that guy's. Did you guys ever see the Three Musketeers
Musketeers.
in the 90s?
Oh shit, that's where he's from.
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen and Kiefer Sutherland.
And the guy
Yeah.
from NCIS, not Los Angeles.
That was such. I love that movie. It was
I love
just
that
like,
the guy's name was just Top Dollar.
Yeah. Everybody has a weird name.
Tintin.
Riff Raff.
oh yeah.
That's a rapper.
That wasn't his name. What was his name?
Yeah. There's a lot that like what I feel like this movie though. I mean, it would have at least appreciated it a bit more if it had it had a lot of inconsistencies, and that just bugged me on that level. Like that's because that's more of a cohesive level, and when you throw in a lot of inconsistencies and like weirdly off-put reactions to other characters, it's just like that makes it even harder for me to take it seriously at
Yeah.
all.
So, right, or going into spoilers, or
There's really nothing to spoil. Like that was kind of the problem. It was so
Yeah.
straightforward in a sense that I feel like we've all seen this film before. But just because we've seen it before, I think it was original for its time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you want to go into ratings?
Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
well,
What would you give it, Zach?
It was, it was an objective 3. Good time. I feel like I could recommend it to someone. They'd be like, yeah, that was good. But personally, it was more of like a 2.5 territory, subjectively. So
Mm.
yeah.
Fabio?
Okay.
I'll give it a
Flavors.
3.5. I'll give it 3.
Okay. Sean, what would you give it?
So throwing a quick review in there, I give this movie a 2.5, and the reasons are, it's a comical movie, it's original, sure,
Sure.
but it's just like, you have to be in the kind of media for this movie. You have to be an angsty, grungy type person to
that's me.
to really like this movie, and that's why I gave
Or
it
a,
a 2.5.
middle schooler. You can
or an adolescent who's trying to find themselves.
Avenged Sevenfold's so great.
Aren't we all trying to find ourselves?
And
on the
so
inside?
I mean, I had a hard time really enjoying it because I just hated the style so much, and it felt like Spawn, and that just bugged the crap
And
out.
Austin doesn't like goddamn Spawn.
Austin
No,
fucking hates
Spawn the character. He's badass as hell. Like he's a great character.
His cape turns into an axe.
Exactly, but that was just terrible. Yeah, I just hate the style. Really bad use of slow mo. Really cheesy, and it wasn't a cheesy I could really appreciate. I mean, the one-liners I could appreciate, but just some of the cheesiness just was annoying.
I like the Black Commissioner.
And the villains did not interest me in the slightest. I'm going to give it either 2 or 2.5. I mean, by the end, I did enjoy it more, but I'll just stick with the 2.
Wow. Well, listen, I was really kind of afraid that you guys are going to be like, that was totally a 4.5, and I was going to be like, shit, did that really go over my head? Damn. I was...
You guys just didn't catch all the symbols, man.
Shit. There were symbols?
Yeah,
all
and then
the motifs.
Well, I mean, clearly the rain symbolized flying dildos, so...
That's
yeah, it bugs. I mean, I wish a movie like that, even if it had all like the bad things we were talking about, like if it at least had some sort of message, but it had no real message.
I don't even think that premise...
come back from the dead and kill everybody.
There's nothing you could do with that premise to really make it a standout film for me, though. It's
Well, I mean,
just
even-
so dry.
Even the comic strip, like I mean, the comic that it's from, it's just like I expect there to be something, but no.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the movie.
That's the movie.
You summarized. It's
Thanks
like
for taking a shit, Zach.
It's a long groan. That's what this movie is.
Okay, so I guess we'll then get into one of Woody Allen's most
Catch Me
famous
If You
films.
Woody
it.
Allen.
Annie Hall.
Catch Me If
The other day, I was trying to, because my dad's seen this movie a bunch of times, I was trying to talk to him about it, and for some reason, I could not think of the name Woody Allen. All I was thinking of was Andy Warhol. I was just like, Andy Warhol. I was like, that's not his name. That's, God damn it, what is his name?
Andy Warhol?
Yeah.
Woody Allen.
Yeah.
Woody Allen. Remember
Woody
that
Allen
name.
is his name.
I love Woody
He
Allen.
wrote and directed Annie Hall.
Annie Hall.
Okay, Annie Hall. Break it down.
Annie Hall
Break it
is
down.
came out in 1977. Is about this guy played by Woody Allen. He plays this guy named Alvy Singer, and he's a comedian, a very neurotic comedian. He's Jewish, and he and this movie's about. He's Jewish.
Yeah.
You said slash Jew, and while I was discussing his occupation.
He's comedian
That sounds-
slash Jew. That's his occupation.
That's offensive.
That's worse on your end. And
I don't think so.
the movie's about his relationship with this woman, this nervous woman named Annie Hall, played by Diane Keaton.
Fun fact, Diane Keaton, her name is Annie Hall. Her nickname was Annie, and her last name is actually Hall.
There you have
There
it.
it is.
There you have it.
So we now know the origins of
Diane
this
Keaton
movie.
played herself.
Annie Hall.
Boom.
Yeah, so
X-Men Origins. Annie Hall.
basically, this movie, it starts out with you already knowing that they they've broken up. So it's about kind of going in and like looking into like what went wrong, and so the movie develops non-linearly because it's kind of like Alvy's memories, and it's really interesting. So, what did you guys think?
Yeah, it's first of its kind. I remember watching it on a road trip to Utah, and it just really kind of hit me in a profound way. It was just a movie that just felt really raw and just as genuine as Woody Allen could be at, what a relationship is like and what the good parts and the bad parts are about it,
Yeah, it was definitely. I don't know if it was the first of its kind, but it was definitely that was like his first foray into like more serious movies. Because before then it was like slapstick farces,
Yeah, which he does good at. He's really good.
I haven't.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like
slapstick farts is
A whole movie with the slapstick and parts.
But I haven't seen it. I've only seen clips of like his early movies with like Sleeper and
What's Up, Tiger Lily?
What's Up, Tiger Lily? Bananas.
Oh, Banana's great. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I love eating bananas.
But like this one was like getting more serious, and it was
because I mean he did Annie Hall and then he went straight into Manhattan. In Manhattan, God,
Oh, such a
just a great movie to gawk at. You know?
I don't know. That didn't hit me as much as this one. Like, I mean, yeah, Manhattan is definitely really pretty, but I mean, I feel like Annie Hall just has more substance.
Manhattan for me really Annie Hall nails what it's like to be in a relationship and the really difficult parts about it sometimes, where you can really love someone yet you can hate certain aspects about them. Whereas Manhattan really captures falling for someone, I think, just so perfectly. Falling for someone, falling for a city, just falling for an atmosphere as well. And I don't know. There's a lot of similarities between them, but I think Manhattan's probably my preferred over the two.
Well, Annie Hall, I especially like because it's non-linear, and so
That's
it's
nice.
really what they do with the non-linear thing. It's kind of captures a lot of like his like psychology because it feels more like stream of consciousness the way it develops.
Yeah.
But it still keeps like a really comical like look, and he even breaks the fourth wall and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
And he says straight out like early on how it's he's got a very wild imagination, and so like he would like invite other people on the street to like join his memory and kind of think about it.
Yeah, that was really creative. Not a lot of movies do that.
Yeah, it was I liked this movie. It was a very good rom-com because it basically shows one relationship that was like built up and had its own experiences, and it's a very good kind of like looking at real life.
Yeah, it was a realistic take.
It was
on
a very
yeah.
slice of pie.
It wasn't
movie.
cheesy. It wasn't sugar coated. It was like this is the way it
Yeah,
is.
it definitely like was not sugar.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know,
Very Kafkaesque.
Very Kafka.
okay, we'll go into that. But like, yeah, if you guys didn't know, slice of pie is pretty, or slice of life. Sorry, slice of life. I messed that one up. I'm hungry. Anyways,
I'm hungry too. Man.
Slice of life kind of movie is, a cut out of real life. What we'd expect a normal relationship to be. It has its ups and downs. It's not one of those cheesy romantic comedies that's like, oh, some big drama. No,
Well, I mean, because this one has like no like I mean, it doesn't really have like any like real gimmick about it. It's very very honest.
I really didn't see
very-
any gimmicks in this.
it's very realistic.
It's really interesting to see.
Realistic or nihilistic?
Explain that.
I
Well,
could see-
'cause I feel like what Woody Allen is saying with this film is that love is no matter who you are, ultimately ends in people growing apart. Like it's just this thing, like you're gonna fall out of love at some point, and it's just a necessity. That's just what happens.
Well, I mean, I think the necessity part was just the necessity of having love in your life at some point, but not like that. The necessity is that they have to grow apart.
That's true. Maybe.
I thought it was more of like, I feel like it's kind of like there's an appeal to like the young adult where, a lot of times relationships don't work out, they don't realize what happened. It's kind of like a little fresh take on that, like, because like you can kind of see like the little thing, because when they start drifting apart, like most of the scenes are just kind of them arguing over something, and then you realize, oh, this person's being an asshole, this person's just not being, and you kind of see like it's starting to fall apart. So I think like the end result is being like that if things fell apart, they didn't fall apart for no reason. Like there was something that in between you two that like wasn't going to be overcome, or the breakup was like events leading up to that. It never comes out of nowhere.
And I like the fact that the breakup isn't something superficial. It doesn't come up like how like a lot of rom-coms do it. Some superficial kind of like...
Yeah, they just kind of came to the
It's
realization.
usually some sort of secret someone has, and the other person finds out.
Yeah,
that.
and that's terrible. But no, this movie takes a genuine path at it.
It's like they both
That's a really good point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just realize, no, we're not really meant to be suited for one another.
Like
So-
when's the last time we've seen a film where like a breakup happened when it wasn't just a secret? That's
Well, I mean,
I don't.
500 Days of Summer.
Have one.
Oh, 500 Days of Summer, I guess.
You hate 500 Days of Summer?
Oh, I like that movie.
Oh,
I have not seen that
tired
movie.
of
So
that
warm.
movie.
really great movie.
And it's sad.
Well,
She's
summer,
such a
of course
bitch.
it's warm.
She's not a.
She's such a bitch.
No, it's like being a life.
it's just like Annie Hall.
Sometimes you're a great
Just like Annie
person,
Hall.
both of you, but the other person, it's just not clicking.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm pretty sure it had a huge influence of Annie Hall because it's the same kind of nonlinear thing, same kind of premise, and
Oh, shit. You're right.
they do have the same kind of what I think at the end for both characters, they both get something out of it. I mean, it was still like that was a really significant relationship for them. It didn't work out like for them to be lovers, but they still further broke down walls in each other that allowed them to go on after this relationship to experience life.
In very different ways.
I didn't like that movie.
They're-
But back
I
to
thought we
Annie
were talking
Hall.
about Annie Hall.
I thought it was really interesting to see when the relationship was just going down. Although I felt like in the majority of the movie, it was just Woody Allen being really selfish and trying to impose his ways on his girlfriend. Especially in that scene when they both go to the library.
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
trying to impose his views, and it's like, here, read this book because this is what I like.
Well, I mean, it's like he didn't think that she was intelligent enough for him,
Well,
and that was a bit.
And I felt like that was an insecurity that she had herself. That she
I
wasn't-
think that was more of an insecurity for her, but I mean, I don't know. It's
But he kind of
it's really really neat how this movie kind of gets into his psychology because he says at the beginning about the whole old Groucho Marx joke that about him there being a party. The only person I don't want to see at a party is myself or something like. What was it?
Not even close.
What was it again?
Austin. I would never want to be a part of a club who would allow me as a member.
I don't think Woody Allen was being selfish.
You don't think he's selfish?
Yeah, no, like in the example, oh, read these books because I like them or something. I think that's just more conceitedness than selfishness. Selfishness is not thinking about her. He's thinking about her and saying, oh, you should read these because I think you'll like these.
Yeah.
Maybe that comes from a conceit of himself, as how he has the greatest opinion in the world. But I think he's thinking about her. He's thinking of her wellness. That's not selfish.
I could see it.
Okay, maybe selfish was the wrong word, but I didn't feel like he was trying to
he was imposing.
Yeah, he was imposing
Yeah,
way
he's
too much on her.
I can see it as selfish because he wants to turn her into another him.
Which is, I mean, and the thing, and the trap, and it's a trap for him because he doesn't want another him. He can't put up with another him, but yet he's still pushing her towards that.
So maybe it didn't matter if he was dating Annie Hall. Maybe the same result would happen with any girl because he just needs to take a longer.
how he was. It was
what's that word? No.
Oh my gosh!
Resplendent.
with the whole because I mean he there's a common theme with people around him where he would be running into people who are really intellectual and condescending, and yeah, he kind of sees himself as more like that, but he still gets really annoyed with those kinds of people, but he still pushes towards it.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of goes back to the theme.
Well, I didn't really. I saw his dislike of the pseudo intellectuals kind of more of a thematic thing as opposed to the character development. But then again, going back to what you said about I wouldn't want to be part of a club who would have me as a member.
But
So,
I mean, I feel like that theme is also presented in Manhattan.
I wasn't done, and I haven't seen Manhattan. So two things.
Manhattan.
I will finish
Two
them.
things. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I thought it was more of a thematic thing about. It was more of a sub theme. It wasn't one of the major themes of the movie, but about people who. Actually, I would say it was a pretty big theme, but about how people who actual intellectuals versus people who want to come off as one, and I think that was it was given a hint when he was it was more directly said in that scene where he's standing in line and that one guy is telling that girl all about his his film critiques and how smart he is and all that stuff.
How he's a TV and film professor, and then
Yeah.
it was funny because that fourth wall moment when Woody Allen he's like, "No, I've got him right here." He's like, "You know nothing of my."
I think the whole thing about him,
That was a great scene.
I think he sees himself more like those condescending intellectual people, but he doesn't like them. But he's I feel like it digs into his psychology because it's him setting up traps for himself, because he's really morose about life and really
Gross, good word.
yeah
He's really comatose about life.
No. He's very fluorescent about it.
Putting a little
No.
more oses in
The
there.
opposite.
He's very sucrose about life.
Glucose.
He's very lactose
You guys remember
intolerant
that
about it.
Nickelodeon
Yeah, the
commercial?
sucrose,
Yeah,
dextrose, maltose.
they all ended gross.
What? I don't remember that.
Oh,
Yeah, it
that's
was awesome.
great.
What was the commercial for?
But yeah, I was
don't
saying-
need sugar.
Don't need sugar. Like no, like what I was saying, like opposing Austin. Like I saw it as more as a thematic thing. It's more of a thematic thing instead of like a character development, kind of like a commentary on people who sort of use like intellectualism as a more of a superiority thing because they feel insecure.
I disagree with both of you because I feel like this movie is
Wild
more
card.
of a
Wild card.
Wildcard, bitches.
I feel like this movie is kind of like an exposition of life. It's kind of like a little, hey, this happens. This is a normal life routine.
Actually, I kind of agree with your take. I'm
Yeah.
going more on that.
Yeah, because the only criticism I have of this movie is the fact that sometimes I'm lost but I notice that when there's a lot of flash forwards and flashbacks in movies, I'm kind of just one of those types.
Oh, yeah, because
Who
then going
doesn't
to
kind-
linear format. Because
Yeah.
it'll show, like, halfway through the relationship, and then it'll show,
the
like,
beginning,
the very beginning.
and then like his life, her life, and but I do appreciate this movie because I feel I'm a little like Woody Allen in this movie. It's two awkward people, and they try to make love out of it, and it's a very good exposition. on
I
life.
think because I kind of felt like it was more of like you're in the seat of a psychiatrist, where he's because he's speaking it all to you, and the movie kind of lays it itself out like a stream of consciousness. And I feel like it's really nailing his psychology, and like he's kind of he would talk at the break the fourth wall, and I just feel like it's mostly just putting you, the audience member, in the seat of someone as one of these psychoanalysis that he goes and sees.
That's a
I
good
feel
point. It's kind of like he's,
Expunging himself.
he's just, like, letting everything go.
And there's a big part of the movie where he keeps mentioning, oh no, I've been going to an analyst for 15 years.
Which was a big fad back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, because people were just burning all their money on that when they didn't really need to.
Psychoanalysis.
Yeah, and
Well,
it's
shit. I mean, if
just-
they promise he can make you happy, you might as well.
Like Marilyn Monroe was seeing a psychoanalysis a lot. Like a lot of big stars were. But yeah, it's really interesting to see that too. When him and her going, and then like he's trying to generally help her as they go to like school, and then he pays for her psychoanalysis. And the first hour she's there, she learns way more about herself than he ever did about himself, going 15 years.
Well, I feel that's just the varying opinion of people who, go to psychiatrists. It's showing, like, not everybody gets something out of going it. And, maybe a psychiatrist isn't, like, the best method.
I like
Well,
that, John.
I think it's mostly just about them, both of them are halting each other's progression, which is why that's how they're not best for each other.
Yeah. But, yeah, on a whole, this movie was very enjoyable. Slice of life. We're going to get into ratings.
Well, Zach, I haven't heard your take.
Oh.
I thought it was about love.
Love is all you
Nailed
need.
it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I didn't have enough time to rewatch it because I've seen this movie a few times already, so I decided to watch The Crow, so I don't have a fresh take. But yeah, I remember always thinking that this was just kind of a testament to love and a different perspective on it. Kind of reminded me of like a Baz Luhrmann film without all the sparks and whistles, and a little bit more philosophical. Just kind of trying to figure out what is love. Is it to
Like a
each
good-
his own, or is it,
Like a good look on relationships, really, in general.
Yeah, and I thought he kind of just came to the conclusion that love is irrational, and then, like you said, a necessity.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to rate it?
Well, I mean, I was just going to say one short thing. The most important thing that we all gained from this movie was two important words:
Kafkaesque is one word.
Kafkaesque.
Were you going to say coffee-esque?
Coffee-esque.
Kafkaesque
Kafkaesque and
That's
hostile.
Oh, I thought it was transplendent.
Transplendent.
Transplendent is another one, but
Well, that's just transplended.
and hostile because
Hostile.
Annie Hall said hostile about 15 times.
Really? I never
Yeah.
noticed that.
She's like, "You're being so hostile right now. How could you say that? That's very hostile of you." And I'm just like,
Huh.
this
I didn't catch
girl's
that.
favorite
I didn't
term.
catch that.
Maybe,
Huh.
maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
I remember the first time I heard
Departed reference, I appreciate it.
the first time I heard the word Kafkaesque, I was really confused. Because like I don't know that much about Kafka, but I've read the Metamorphosis, and it was so complex. I was like, "What the hell does that mean?"
Austin
Kafka?
and I thought
I don't get how is that an adjective? Is
That means it's like a cockroach.
Austin and I thought that was a very good insult on him. So like
That orgasm
to
is very Kafkaesque.
all the listeners, so what happens is Kafka, Woody Allen's character sleeps with another woman.
Who's
It was very unattractive.
Yeah, who was
She's
very
annoying.
unattractive
It
and
was actually
annoying.
the wife from The Shining.
Yeah, very
Shelley
Did you
condescending.
watch that yet?
And after sex, she goes, "Well, that was a very Kafkaesque experience," and I just
No.
sat there
She
laughing.
says having sex with you is very Kafkaesque.
Yeah, it was like, wow, that was the best insult. Best sex
That's so
insult
Well,
I've
it's also
ever
it's also
heard.
there, for like the whole like condescending thing. But it's just like
It was the best
it's
sex insult I've ever heard.
it's ridiculous.
So yeah, right.
Well, I know. I feel like it wasn't even really an insult, like meaning to, because it's like a pseudo intellectual. So I feel like she didn't really know what she was saying.
Yeah, she never knew what she was saying.
It's just simply transplendent.
Yeah. And you know what?
And she thought Bob Dylan was like God.
I know.
Oh yeah, only nerds think that. Am I right?
Because Austin does slam.
Come on,
We got him.
We got him.
We
It's not,
got
it's
him.
not,
go home,
okay,
boys.
guys.
You know,
Okay,
one
guys,
thing I
back it
appreciate,
up.
Steven,
It's
is you
not
said
God,
that you
it
would
is
say slam, and you
God
actually
there.
did say slam.
He did say
What?
I did say slam.
Slam
Yeah.
is Steven's new catchphrase.
That's my new word when I
I know,
burned.
you claimed it and you owned it, so that's good.
Oh, thanks, man.
And every time he says that, I think Space Jam. Anyways,
I'm gonna embarrass myself. I think of How I Beat Shaq when I think of slam. That's How I Beat Shaq. Fucking Aaron Carter. Listen to that old
Aaron Carter. That was my very first CD. Was an Aaron
That was
Carter.
the very first hit clip. You
Wait.
remember hit clips?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, dude, we should bring those back.
no.
When we're a band, we should have that as our first
Was it-
single.
Wasn't it?
You know what else they make? Those Now CDs.
What those are?
The NOW exclamation ones with the popular
Oh, yeah, like Now
pop
48.
songs.
You remember after that when it
sung
was
by
just the
kids.
video? It was the music video.
I never got the video.
It was like a little screen, and you could
Yeah,
put it up.
yeah,
and it was
yeah,
like, it was a music
yeah,
video.
yeah,
I, only, I plugged it into like the little like handheld one, and then it like played in like terrible audio quality.
It wasn't the hit.
Ridiculous.
Hey, with the hit clips, wasn't it just like only a portion of the song, not even the whole song?
Yeah, it was like-
it was like I think 45 seconds.
That is
30 to 40.
Yeah, and it cost like $5 too.
I know.
But
That is
we,
so
But
why?
see, we all had more money back in the day for some reason.
I had like
'Cause
5
we're-
hit clips. Now it was the greatest thing ever.
Really, I never bought one. I just
I
saw it in
already
the
sold
store.
them.
And I was like, that's dumb.
You should have like broke open the. Oh
Okay.
yeah, I like this.
Back to the Woody Allen stuff.
Jokes on you. I was listening to How I Beat Shaq.
So wait, ratings for Annie Hall.
Well, you know,
Flavio,
I
full
thought,
circle.
Let's start with Flavio.
I thought this movie was a very real representation of, relationships, just life. It was very real, It was not artificial. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I love Woody Allen's character. I loved Annie Hall. I thought she was a total cutie pie.
Diane Keaton.
I enjoyed
Or Annie
the
Hall.
film very
Did you
much.
say Dovahkiin?
Diane
Yes.
Keaton.
Oh,
I'm going to give this movie a 4.
Cool.
Cool.
Out of 5. Okay.
4 out of.
4 smiling faces.
Clarifying. Out of 5?
4 out of 5 smiley faces.
No, stars.
Bam.
Okay, Zach.
Zach.
Yeah, probably 4.5. It's really good.
Okay. Sean.
Me. Totally not prepared. No, yeah, this movie, just like Flavio said, is not a surrogate type of film. It's very well. That's just another term for artificial. I just didn't want to use artificial.
I liked it. That was good.
Okay.
I'm gonna Google that later, so you better make sure that's correct.
As soon as you said
I
surrogate.
have a tendency to do that. It's called Seanisms or the Sean Dictionary. I use words that sound like the same word but mean something.
I think it's the
completely
wrong
different.
word, but
I
go
do know
ahead.
what suffixes.
It-
Like I'll just use stuff that I think are grammatically correct, even though they might not be.
It's like homonyms, but yeah. Anyways, not hominy, which is a plant. Anyways, yeah, this movie is very, very realistic and a very good kind of just view on love and relationships. I give it a 4.5.
Yeah, good job, Sean.
All right,
thank you.
I'll give it a whirl. Yeah, I really like the movie. I appreciated like you guys said, the fresh take on love, and I saw it like really realistically. So I didn't really get like that warm of a feeling like from the relationship. I don't know how you guys.
I didn't
feel about
I
that.
didn't feel that warm either.
It wasn't
Oh,
very.
I
it
felt
wasn't
some
very
warmth.
And like Flavia said, like watching this movie, I was like, wow, Woody Allen's being really annoying. Sometimes, not all the time. Not like I like him generally, just like as the character. You know how that goes. Anyway, but yeah. I was kind of annoyed by his behavior. That'd be like the only thing that I didn't like about the movie. But I thought it was very interesting thematically, and I thought it had interesting commentary on like the intellectual community and love and all that stuff. So I'll give it a 4.
Cool. Yeah, so I watched it with Flavio and Steven, and that was pretty cool. And actually, right after we watched it, I really just wanted to watch it again. So
I watched it with me.
Then I watched it with Sean today. It was, I really, really liked this movie. It actually hit me more so the second time. I don't really know why the first time it didn't hit me that much. But the second time was really, really great.
Well, it's a good thing that you watched it a second time then, Austin.
Yeah. And, well, it was really nice, too, because the second time I actually thought of it more like, I kind of watched some of it like in a subconscious kind of way. I was thinking about my subconscious as the movie was going along, because I was thinking of it more of a stream of consciousness. And so that was really, really nice. And I was really appreciating, like, every transition he made, you know, how it just kind of developed his psychology. And it was really great testament to relationships, really well constructed, really, really nice movie. It's really, really funny. A lot of highs and lows. His character, like, I think there's a lot of great ways to just interpret it just because it's his memories. And, yeah, it was really great. And it had warmth in it and all kinds of levels. And so I give it 4.5 stars. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to watch more Woody Allen movies.
Well, music brought to you by Dano at dano.com.
Dano's a legend. He's the voice of a generation.
He's going to be on every single one of our videos because I'm using his video as our introduction. So
Watch, he's going to be really mad once we realize we're pronouncing his name wrong. It's Dano, you douches.
No, it's totally Dano. It has to be. He gave us a picture if we ever want to credit him that we can use a shot of him.
Embarrassing?
No, I mean, it's just a picture. It's black and white, though. It's artsy.
Oh,
so,
that's pretty artsy.
yeah. But anyway, everybody, thank you for listening to View Locker. That is the show, guys.
That's us. That's what we are.
Anybody got a guitar handy? Can we?
We have our voices. A
Sean.
And Zimbabwe. 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 And